Welcome to Family Friday. Last week I left off saying that the quickest and most effective way for husbands to love their wives was to listen. When you listen to your wives, it's like listening to your body. One of the biggest problems in marriages that I encounter when I do couples counseling is communication. It's the lack thereof or ineffective communication. And this is something I've seen for many years. This lack of communication goes something like this. The husband goes about his normal routine believing that all is well. However, as the list of things not completed or fixed grows, so does the wife's annoyance. The woman begins to drop hints which go unnoticed. The woman's frustration then busts asunder and lets loose in some type of venting. Now, venting is full of emotion and usually exaggeration, which shocks the man. For as I said before, he thinks everything has been going just so wonderfully. Now, depending on the man and the state of your marriage, the husband's going to do one of two things. Either he's going to aggressively defend himself, or he's going to withdraw, thinking that he is a failure as a man. Now, I'll have more to say to the wives next Friday regarding how to communicate respectfully. But I need the men to know that even if women never do that, you can change how your wife communicates if you will learn how to listen to her. So let's review Ephesians chapter 4, verses 2 through 3 and apply it to listening. The text itself says, with all humility, gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, making every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. That again is Ephesians chapter 4, verses 2 through 3 from the New Revised Standard Version, updated edition. So men, let's think about that. You do treat your bodies with humility, don't you? You don't enter yourself into a bench press contest unless you're confident and you've trained and are physically and emotionally ready for it. If you do enter without the training and preparation, you end up humiliating yourself. Well, if you know what that is, don't ever embarrass your wife by choices without consulting her ideas and feelings. You communicate with your body, communicate with your wife, and by the way, she may have a better plan than you. And men, when your parts of your body scream out in pain, do you ignore it? Well, if you ignore it, you usually make a problem worse and end up in the hospital. Normally, if your body is screaming out in pain, you treat it with gentleness until that pain goes away and it's strengthened. When your wife vents, realize she's doing so out of pain, out of fear. She needs some time and guidance for healing. Now, when I'm learning a new yoga or kettlebell move, I must practice, practice, and watch again. It can take weeks to master a new routine. When I do not understand what my wife is communicating to me, I need the patience and greater effort to be able to see what she sees. In other words, listen patiently. Now, while my wife vents, she may express things with which I disagree. But I must continue to listen with loving forbearance. For I promise to love her until death separates us. That's a promise I made to her and to God. And in my own experience, most of the time, my willingness to overlook a misconstrued detail or a slight pays big results overall. And finally, I need to listen to my wife because of Jesus. He went to the cross for my stubborn selfishness. He died for me long before I realized it. Well, because of Jesus' sacrifice, I must do all I can to preserve the unity and bond of peace in my marriage. Guys, I could say more, but until next time, I encourage you to look over Ephesians chapter 4 and 5 and identify those verses that speak to you of how you can be a more effective listener.